All right.
So we're back again.
With
so
the top table this time.
This is the top table. This is, I guess, the winners bracket final or the semi-final or
Whatever you want to call it.
whatever you want to call it.
It's the winners bracket. Whoever wins here goes to the final.
Exactly. Whoever wins here is definitely in the final and has an extra life as well in the final.
Yeah, so to say.
Whoever loses still has the chance to move on to the final after maybe possibly defeating whoever wins the losers bracket.
Yep. And Asger did not get to choose what to play. That's only for the first round since he was the top seed. But Luck of the Draw had it, so he got to play IG. And I asked him before the game, and he said he wanted to play IG.
Of course.
Unsurprisingly.
Of course. Now Magnus is not clueless here. He knows what the IG deck
like
is all
we said,
about.
he's one of the most experienced players we have in the Stockholm meta.
I'd say in the Scandinavian meta. He's been around so many different tournaments and played people from all over, and he plays so much Netrunner. He has seen his fair share of this deck, and there's no chance he showed up today without a clue on how to deal with this.
No, and he is running some anti-IG take. He's not running slumps like Asger, but he is running 2 employee strikes, which is definitely going to be helpful.
For sure.
So this is probably the hardest match Asger's going to face so far when it comes to beating a runner.
I'd say. Obviously, if he gets to face Niklas, that will be probably just as tough a match.
Yes. So this will be interesting. Magnus showed some really excellent play in the first round here in the top cut with the Scorp deck.
Magnus takes chances.
Yes.
So
but calculated chances, I would suppose.
Definitely. I would say that this match will not be a long match. I cannot see this match running long.
Magnus probably knows that he can't let this match run long.
No, he'll be taking chances. He'll win or he'll die.
Yeah, basically that's it. Trying to use those wizard credits as much as possible in the early game.
Trying to use those snare sleeves to put some fear into his opponent.
That's a nice mind game, running the snares on the runner deck.
Yeah.
So he did take a mulligan there.
No, he had... I didn't see any econ in his previous hand. I don't see any econ now either.
There's some daily cast in there.
Is there?
And also the wild side, I think. So he's
the
pretty
wild
set
side
up.
is good. The wild side is going to good. Is that a medium as well? I think the second card from the left might be a medium.
Parasite, I'm not sure.
Yeah, it could be.
And then there's the jog there that probably won't get installed.
I doubt it.
No, that's a parasite. So 1 parasite, 2 daily casts, wild side and jog.
That's a fine opening hand, I think.
It's not too bad.
So Jackson overdraws 1, installs over our archives.
Yes.
Pass the turn to Magnus. Magnus
We'll draw.
draw.
And draw the second wild side, I think.
Yeah. Daily cast, wild side.
Yeah, and he has to take a credit to be able to install them both.
Yeah, so he did. So he's at 0 credits, but he will be getting some dripping.
Yes,
and he will
he's
getting
got a
some cards.
second daily cast
In hand, yep.
We see Asger with the bioethics in hand. That's a late game card, so...
It won't be installed now.
Nope.
He might even dump it
in
order to bring it back later when he needs it.
He also did have the city hall there. And he
I think so, yeah.
2 at once with Jackson.
Why not? If you're going to draw anyway, why not do it first so that you know your options?
It's not really installing that aggressively.
No, I think he...
Is he not finding what he wants?
No, and I don't think he wants to let Magnus destroy his assets. He wants to have some extra tax.
Yeah, after this turn, trashing is gonna be really expensive. Because he's got like 8 cards in hand or something like that.
Magnus has no.
Oh, there is his
runners.
installs.
All right. I would have expected him to dump at least one more card. Oh yeah, he did. He did. So we have an extra 2 credits to trash anything.
So you think Magnus checks these?
I'm not sure. He might even be content to deal with Jackson. Looking at R&D is an option as well.
That's the eternal question. When do you start running R&D?
Exactly. And I think sooner rather than later. So he doesn't want to lose the other daily cast, so he installs it, first click. And then he might start running.
Magnus is also running a film critic. Oh, he just took some credits, in Stargate Daily Cast. So here we see the City Hall at work. Now this is the Asger that we're getting used to. Clicking that City Hall.
Making sure that he gets the cards that he wants in the right order. Keeping his deck stable.
I'm thinking a Mamba Temple is,
Yep. That's
we've seen this before.
for sure.
It doesn't get the reset though.
No, but he might.
There we go.
He might do that anyway.
So that's 1 click with the City Hall.
Mm-hmm.
Can we click it again, maybe?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, why not?
I
Another
think-
Mamba?
Yeah. That has been his MO so far.
Mamba's first.
No?
Well, Heritage is, of course, not bad.
No. It's
Getting that Heritage rolling is
Mhm.
quite alright. You can Mamba out, or you can City Hall out the museum later
Yeah.
to get that Heritage train rolling.
Yep. And he will be dumping a fair amount of cards into R&D here. Or, sorry, archives.
Yes.
Only,
Making
only,
those-
the, only the 1 card goes back in R&D.
Yeah. It's essentially making those wizard credits useless
Mm.
because
Yeah.
Magnus is not going to want to trash anyways.
Yeah, I'm thinking he had a slight little window to trash the Jackson last
Cerebral
turn.
Static.
Here we go.
That's nice.
And now he's completely out of options for trashing
So
things.
that basically blanks the wizard ID, meaning that even though the credits stay, he can't use them.
No.
Recurring credits doesn't recur at the start of the turn. The ID is blank. And Magnus is building econ here.
Yeah. I'm not sure. He's got to have some sort of plan.
I'm sure he does.
For
I mean,
this.
he's enough of a good player, as we've said over and over
He's
again.
got to have a plan here. I'm just not really understanding it. I'd be at least checking the top card of R&D.
I think I would as well. Probably.
That's the 1 card. It's not to control the R&D because there is no lock.
There's no luck at all. No, he's
but-
shuffling R&D every turn.
Exactly, but just getting that 1 access every turn would be...
Could win you the game.
Yeah, it could. And
And here we
is
go.
he waiting for Film Critic? I don't know.
Maybe, which you can't wait for Film Critic.
No.
Install it when you get it, but
The tempo that Asger is setting right now.
he changed his mind. He didn't go for the museum. He went for 2 Mamba temples. So,
But that has been the way he's been doing
that
it.
is the standard Asger way.
Yeah.
Getting the Mambas out first.
Mhm.
I'm guessing most runners don't see Mamba temples in IG as the priority targets. That's why.
No, they
You
are
can
just enabling the other cards.
yeah.
So Asger is really running the steps here. He's taking 1 step at a time.
Sure.
So
We've seen
first he
this
gets
4 times before.
Exactly. we know this now, and if you've been watching, you should too. So we've got finally we see pancakes in Magnus' hand.
Can
Magnus,
get that click back.
In I think that's crucial.
It is. That should be going down this turn.
He definitely has the money now.
Yeah, he's got 12 credits on Liberated as well.
He's got 10 readily accessible. He's got another drip from at least, well, 2 drips from one of the daily casks. And yeah, it's a shock.
We're seeing in chat here that Slums is a good card, especially in Wizard against IG, and it is, but Magnus is not running it.
No, he's not.
He's running Employee Striker Film Critic as what you might consider as tech cards against IG.
And I'm sure Magnus has won this matchup several times with this deck in testing.
And now we see here, he ran Archives to get rid of the extra cost, and then he trashed the City Hall. And I think that's
probably right.
Yeah. That's something we've seen a few players do against Asger. Destroying the City Hall is crucial.
Yeah.
But knowing Asger, I think I saw another one in his hand.
So he's not too concerned.
Gets rid of that hostile intercept as well.
And it wasn't rest, so he's not taking any net damage off of it.
No net damage. That's a good play.
Yep. So he got to.
He's got he's down to 0 now credits, but he's got more rolling in.
Yeah. He's not poor.
And this is what I meant.
He just had.
He had another one in hand.
As disheartening as he can be. You'd think.
That's round 3 though.
Yeah, but you'd think with a 54 deck.
It's hard to find.
It shouldn't be possible to always have the answer in hand. But and Asger's been having that answer all day long.
That's the thing with the good plays. They always have what you need.
Yeah, I
all the time.
The skill of top decking is the most crucial skill to develop. If you are a new Netrunner player, learn how to top deck. That's my best advice to you.
Any card game, basically.
Basically. But in Netrunner, I think top decking has such a strong. I mean, you can top deck anything. Just I put your mind to the top decking, and you might be that guy that can just.
You might be Asger.
You might be Asger. Well, seriously though, Netrunner has that swinging nature that you can pull agendas or the cards you like in that manner. It's part of the nature, and that's why board states normally do not dictate. As this deck that we've been seeing now is probably one of the most inevitable decks I've seen in Netrunner, because normally you don't have that inevitability in this game. You don't have that the board state dictates that I'm going to lose the game. You rarely see people concede games in Netrunner, which you would see in a lot of other games, where if you get into a bad board state, the game is really over, and that's not the case.
We're seeing something interesting here. Magnus is actually keeping up pretty well with the assets. He's been trashing a good amount. Getting rid of both of those museums is good.
Yeah. In fact, Magnus is discarding cards at this tempo.
Yeah, he's not using any cards.
No, and he's not losing cards.
Clicking credits off of Liberated, which is depleting.
Of course. He has 1 more drip from daily casts, and he has 2 more clicks on Liberated, taking him to a final of 12 credits.
Getting rid of that City Hall next.
Yeah.
What's this? This is new.
Did you see what it was?
No, it's Asger installing ice in a remote.
Oh, that is definitely a piece of ice. And it's not on top of the turtlebacks. It's on top of something else.
A museum.
A museum. Yeah, he wants to protect that now.
Interesting.
No, but...
It's good. I'm not saying it's good,
obviously
good,
what has to be done, because that's what Magnus has been doing. Magnus has no breaker set. And he is consistently destroying the asset spam.
Yep.
So he needs to protect it, actually. Alright, so if you're Magnus, what is your move now?
I just have Film Critic in hand now, so now might be
time
the time
to start digging
talking.
R&D.
Unless he has the Mimic, because the eyes on that museum is more than likely Komainu.
Yep. Could it even be worth
discard? That's nice.
Oh, getting rid of the static as well. Could it be worth ditching your hand to a Komainu just to kill that?
I don't think so.
It's risky, but there's nothing on the table right now that would kill him off of it.
That's true.
And he draws 2 new cards in the beginning of next turn,
And there we
Pancake
see,
is down.
With career fair. That employee strike did manage to... Well, actually, there were no hidden cards in archives.
No.
But he got rid of the static, which is good.
Yeah.
So one of the city halls is going back into the deck. So already we can see Magnus's experience with this matchup more than
anything we've seen today.
Anything we've seen today.
Yeah,
He's targeting the key assets.
We have not seen any runner today be able to stay relevant like Magnus has done.
With the city hall in the archives and 2 museums in the archives.
And now,
if Magnus could get that 3rd museum, like we said,
it's a war for the currents.
Having the card on hand is what makes a good player. And Asger was holding that cerebral static.
Of course, he was holding the answer.
I saw that earlier. And
all right. So you already knew.
Yeah.
I didn't spot it, but I'm not surprised anyway. This has been the case all night long.
So, well, it's a war of the currents. Magnus is running 2, and Asger is running 3.
Yep.
So we'll see who wins that fight. But Magnus can steal agendas to get rid of Asger's, and Asger's can't score. So
he basically can't score now. So that's it for the Liberated. And we see no econ on the table now.
No new econ. Alright, so he's running. And it's a Lotus Field.
Lotus Field.
Interesting.
So what's actually Magnus' answer for Lotus Field?
Well, 2 cards with Faust.
Yeah, of course. And he's got spoons, right?
Yeah, I would be surprised if he didn't. One spoon.
One spoon.
He's running 1 of each cutlery.
Yep.
Now we see film credit on the table,
which is
so
definitely had to happen.
Going to see some R&D here? Some R&D action? No?
Perhaps.
That was the last click of Magnus.
Yeah. So,
and Asger is shuffling with museum here.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting another museum back is the right choice here.
Of course. You can't rely on that.
You can't run out of museums with this deck.
No, that would be game.
Yeah, and that was what Magnus was hoping for.
Of course. And then he pulls out one of those.
Yeah, with the tech startups, 2 of them. You can get back the city hall.
Yeah.
And something else?
I'm not
See
sure.
What it pulls here? Hostile infrastructure.
Hostile, yeah.
Makes sense.
Definitely.
He does not want to have any more of his assets trashed.
No. I think that Magnus will still trash things. But I'm not sure, because he needs to stabilize his econ again.
Yeah, he's running out of money, and I think he might be turning his interest towards R&D here.
Yeah.
With that film critic installed last click, the last turn, he might be trying to do some stealing here. Yeah,
look at R&D at least once every turn, and then try to dig for your econ.
Yeah, you can't just play to keep the corp from winning. You have to win yourself.
Exactly.
And the only way to do that is to steal agendas.
Well, because he's not going to deck.
No, he's not.
He's not going to deck the IG deck here now.
So yeah, like the chat is saying here, if Magnus would have been able to snipe that 3rd museum, that would have been
game.
I
think
a really good swing. I mean, Asger still has 2 Jacksons, but those are not
tutorable.
Tutorable.
Well, they are.
Yeah, with the executive search firm.
Yeah.
So that's 3 cards in his deck that he can use to get
them back anyway. Yeah. No, I think it's really hard to shut down the IG deck that Asger is running, but you can make it so slow.
Trashing 3 museums is a good way to start. And here we see. Oh, could this be a Mills? This could be Mills.
It should be Mills, right? Taking care of that.
That wild side.
Wild side.
Yeah.
No.
Nope. Okay, interesting. That's not for sure.
And he's using it right away. No, wasn't he?
No, that brings it to the hand.
All right, he put it aside. He put it aside, and he put it
HQ.
aside. Yeah, I thought he was taking it out from game at once.
So Asger started with the dice straight from the start of the
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
So we see
He was expecting the money
he's
coming
at
in.
10 credits right now.
And Magnus is
Magnus
also at 10.
Yeah.
Magnus usually keeps his dice at 5, and then he switched to a new die.
So here we see R&D runs.
And
And
much
Asger's
as in,
actually... Okay, he's resting the hostile there.
there's nothing surprising about this.
There's a Komainu.
Hmm.
That's fine.
Oh yes.
Oh, Magnus is running more econ. What a surprise.
No, but this is definitely been what he's been doing today.
Yep.
He's been keeping money a high priority.
Seems like Magnus has a game plan in a way
that we haven't seen.
That we haven't seen from any other runner.
Yeah.
He knows what he has to do to win this matchup.
Yep.
And he's trying his best to do it.
Hmm. And he's being almost as methodical as Asger has been.
Yes. Although, if Asger gets some nasty eyes on that R&D, he could be starting to get time for himself for a while.
Do you think that just the install of an ice would stop Magnus from running, or would Magnus run to force the... Well, he can't really make him broke, can he?
Not really, no.
No, so
really
there's
no
no
way to tax it. Not
so
with those 3 Mambas up.
No, so there's no reason to force the rest. He should wait for at least what he thinks it is and get the proper breaker for it.
Yeah.
Well, that hasn't happened yet, so until then, Magnus should keep checking that R&D at least once every
2
time.
Fausts in Magnus's deck.
Mm-hmm.
And he's also running a Morningstar. That's
Yeah.
something that we saw from Nico as well.
Do you think
Nico.
that is actual tech against
I guess Hive, yeah. Could be.
Is that why we see this coming into play?
Might be. Usually you don't really need a Fractor when you're running Double Fork.
No,
The
exactly.
only reason is wraparound.
And
seeing the,
Morningstar is not really what
you
you
don't
would...
want, you don't want to install Morningstar for wraparound, but
No.
you use David.
Yeah,
But Morningstar for Hives,
for sure.
that's almost worth the install.
He's not running retrieval runs,
No,
so
he has to
he'd
pay
have
the
to
full,
call.
he
He'd
has
have
to pull
to.
the full 8 for
Yeah.
the Morningstar, but you might do that.
You might,
You'll save that up with 2 runs on R&D or something.
if there is a hive on it,
Yeah.
and that might just be what we saw. I didn't actually catch what he installed.
Asger just installed the museum.
No, the ice he installed over R&D.
Oh, that I know. I don't know,
I didn't see what it was.
but it doesn't have that much ice to choose
No,
from. And
so
Hive is
it's probably a
good
hive or a
bet.
Kamino.
Yep. So he's running 1 Lotus Field, and that's already on the table.
Yeah.
Apart from that, it's 2 Hives, 3 Cominos, and 3 Cricks.
And I don't think it's a crick.
No, and even if it is, it's not going to be a problem for
No,
Magnus.
no, exactly,
As long as it gets at least Faust out.
exactly.
The problem is, Magnus knows that any of these eyes can be Comino, and his only answer is Mimic.
Yep.
So, well, he's
And
taking
that's
a risk
the morning.
here.
That's the Morningstar, and we were talking about. So
He's
now
betting-
hive is, and it
that's-
was a hive.
So
That-
well read. He
Yeah, I
knows
mean,
this deck.
This is Magnus at doing what he does, and we see is
That's
that
the Ronin, I think.
yeah, and he didn't trash it because there's a lot of upside down cards
Yeah.
there.
And Asker's not going to draw that Ronin next turn either way, because he's going to have to shuffle first. So yeah, but I think this is good. Now Magnus can poke R&D every turn.
Yep,
He can host anything that he finds on Film Critic,
yep.
and he can just keep doing that.
He's clicking that liberated, finishing it off. It seems to me that he's given up on trashing assets.
Yeah, well now is the time to do it, right?
Yeah.
Because the hostile's out, and just 3 museums, and yeah.
Yeah, no,
Asker's
there's
got
no reason
everything he
any.
needs.
Yeah, there's no reason, except for the combo. As soon as he sees pieces of the combo, he might reconsider.
He might, but even so, I think his
He
plan
wants
right
to-
now
to
is
win faster.
Yeah, win before the combo hits the table.
Yep. Definitely before the combo hits the table. It's once you start seeing the pieces, how do you react to that?
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see if Magnus is looking to do some deep digging here.
Hmm.
He needs
Does
a
he have
medium for
Mimic in hand? That medium, sorry.
I don't think so.
I didn't see it, but he's
I'm
been keeping his
guessing
cards.
He's looking for it.
For sure.
That would be good.
Definitely. Unfortunately, you cannot host snares on Film Critic.
Unfortunately, no.
No.
But he does have Ivadverse in hand, and
Yeah.
he unlike Nilo, is not gonna use that.
No. I cannot see that happening. So, will we start seeing pieces of the combo hit the table soon, do you think?
I think it's too soon, actually.
Yeah?
I think Asger's trying to build his board a bit more. Maybe get another hostile.
Yeah, another hostile, another turtlebacks, perhaps. That's not important,
no,
actually.
turtlebacks that's moot.
Yeah,
He
at
doesn't
this
need
point.
it. He does have one bioethics in hand, and that could have been the one that we saw in his starting hand.
Could be.
Might have been keeping it.
Yeah.
So yeah. Magnus's could also a good play here, seeing as Cerebral Static has been cancelling out his employee strikes.
Yeah.
Is holding on to employee strike
Yep.
to when he has to run and trash Pavilion, for example.
Exactly. Which makes so much sense.
Yeah, he's not going to play it
Until he needs it.
until he needs it.
Yeah. And this is what we talked about earlier today.
Oh, here we
And
see the medium.
The medium is on the table, and this is...
I can't
this
imagine he's not going to start digging.
This is looking real good.
Seeing one card, and that's another City Hall.
Does he trash it? I don't think so.
Don't think so, no.
Alright, so he's going to run again.
And that's the first score. There,
that's
right
a
there.
global.
2 points for Magnus.
And this is the first time we've seen the runner be up in this game.
Actually, I think we saw one other game that ended 2 for the runner and then flatline.
And perhaps.
And this is actually kind of bad for Asger, because if he wants to keep... Oh, that's another point. It hasn't scored it yet, but it's hosted on Film Critic. That's a fetal. So Magnus is technically up 4-0.
Yep. It's just...
but that's the first bioethics. And Asger's trying to hurry this along. He realizes that he can't keep shuffling and giving Magnus new free accesses every turn.
No. He needs to... He actually needs more eyes. And a Kamino,
He needs Kamino, for sure.
He needs a Kamino. But Magnus does
And that's
run...
the Ivadverse. So Magnus gets a draw.
Yeah.
And
he's got more Ivadverse in hand. So Magnus is pretty solid
He's
at
looking
this
pretty
point.
good right
He's
now.
looking real good here.
I mean, a Mimic on the table would be good. But as
Of
long
course.
as Asger doesn't install ice, then we're going to see some digging here, I think.
For sure.
Of course, he has to spend 2 clicks to...
And now we see Asger bring back the shocks
Interesting.
from his
Trying
archives.
to find a way out of this.
He's digging. We actually see Asger being in I wouldn't say desperation mode.
No, not at all.
But he is definitely...
That medium is a problem, and he has to find a solution.
Yeah, exactly. He's problem solving here.
And he's got an agenda in hand as well.
He's been almost all game long.
Yeah.
That Future Perfect was there long time. Oh, he's got a global food in hand now. He did have a Future Perfect
Might
before.
have 2 agendas in
So he
hand.
could have either 2 in hand or he's dumped one in archives.
Yeah, Magnus is going to have to spend 2 clicks next turn to release that fetal.
Before he starts running again, yeah.
So he's got 2 clicks to run. And if that R&D stays as unprotected as it is right now, that could be...
Yeah.
Could definitely find some agendas. That's 4 accesses into 5 accesses.
Do we know what the upside down asset or whatever that is? I can't recall it, but my memory is a bit dodgy.
I'm not sure. Could be a second hostile or Yeah, I think that's it.
You think it's a hostile?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I have no clue.
So that's more than likely Comaino over R&D.
I'm thinking it could be because he did pick a Jackson before, so it could be a Jackson.
Could be, yeah.
And I'm thinking if he's got agendas in R&D, in archives, that's why it's still there. But I don't know.
So Magnus, well, he has to go up to the 4 points here, right?
He needs to.
He needs to clear the film critic.
Because without the film,
point.
without clearing the film critic, he can't safely dig. Especially not since he's going to do 4 cards, I think. So he starts by using.
So he's up to 4 now. That means he's future perfect away from winning. And that puts some pressure on Asger. It really does.
So we saw another piece of ice go down on top of
no, that's
R&D.
R&D, yeah.
And do we know what that ice is?
No, but I'm guessing Komainu.
That's the only thing that makes sense.
It could be a fake.
Another hive doesn't really do anything.
And Faust does not help against Komainu.
Not much.
Not at all, actually. But he does have Ivored Words in hand. So sure, he's going to lose his whole hand, but he's going to draw back. So he's just going to break the subroutines until he's just got Ivored Words left.
The thing is, these are separate subroutines, so he will lose the cards one at a time.
Yeah, but he's going to use them to break first and foremost until he just has Ivored Words left in hand, and then he's going to let the subroutines fire. So
unless he wants to keep some of the cards he's got in hand.
No, he can't. He can either use them to break or take the damage.
Well, if he takes the damage and he pulls the I've had worse first, there's a chance that he gets to keep one of the cards that he has in hand right now.
There's a chance, but I don't see that being how Magnus is going to play this.
Yeah, he's got 2 I've had worse.
Yeah, he's going to draw back up to 6, which is great.
Yeah,
oh, really?
He is playing it that way because he's got cards he likes in hand.
Interesting. Yeah, so that's the first Ivored Words. So
and this way,
back up to 5, 3.
He gets to shuffle that, right? No?
Oh, 2 Parasites gone. But that's nice. He got to keep 1 Ivored Words. That's interesting. I would not have seen that play.
So that's another Komainu.
Yeah.
Where is your imps, Magnus?
That's a shock.
That's a shock. That's dangerous.
Yeah, it is. It's very dangerous.
Nothing. Phew.
Well, now we can run again, right?
Not without drawing, no.
So we'll be taking 2 damage. But he has Ivory Words in hand.
Yep. So that's fine.
But now he's run out of Ivory Words.
That's all 3 of them.
So.
And that's a data sucker that was definitely not going to matter. So a Parasite for Komainu would be perfect, right?
I'm still going to take a turn. I'm not sure Magnus has that kind of luxury anymore.
No, perhaps you're right.
It'd be interesting to see if Asger goes for the Purge here.
That's definitely an option. He's got all his millions of little tricks to do first, and then he can decide on whether or not to purge.
He does need to find the pavilion.
And that's how he's going to find it.
Yeah, with Heritage, for sure.
So looking at those cards.
Putting one back, shuffling the deck again.
Yep.
So if you were Magnus right now, would you start poking HQ anything?
I don't know. I really don't know. I'm so happy I'm not Magnus.
Yeah, me too.
Because, you know...
Everything looks so good, and now we're starting to see IG take its toll.
Of course. As it does.
But Asger isn't afraid. He keeps those... No, he tossed them. Okay. I don't think he has any agendas in hand.
No, I think he tossed them. And I think that at least one of those 2 upside down cards is Jackson.
What does he have? Oh, he has Jackson on the board.
I think he's got Jackson on the board. I'm not sure, but I think
Oh,
so.
it's levy time.
It's-
That's good. That's
That's
really good.
definitely good. He wants those I've had worse back.
So the lock is almost in place. All he needs is the pavilion.
Mm-hmm.
And if he rests that before the levy, that's horrible because you only get to draw 2 cards.
Mm-hmm. So, do you think Magnus is going to try to disturb the combo at all now? Is he going to try to trash anything? He doesn't
not
have
sure.
much money.
And there goes the wild side.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
If Asger gets the pavilion down on the table this turn, he wins.
Yeah. I think so, yeah.
Unless can
Magnus
find
is
some
really
way to
lucky.
trash it. Interesting. Place the static again.
Mm-hmm.
So, Magnus is in a bit of a pickle here,
He is.
but he can levy safely, which is good.
Mm-hmm. So he gets to draw 5 cards.
And I can't believe he's one agenda from, well, one of the right agendas.
Yeah, exactly. It needs to be the right one. Global is no good. It's got to be one of those 3 future perfects. And I think at least one of those are in archives fairly safely as well.
Yep.
Because of the... No, there's no Jackson on the table.
There is not, no.
There is no Jackson. But he did pull out a Jackson before.
Well,
What
he's-
happened
he's-
to
he's
that
used-
Jackson?
He has used one Jackson.
Yep, but he also brought in another Jackson with the executive thing that would
And
find...
that's not the one he used?
It was already used at that point.
Interesting.
The one that I thought he was using immediately,
Mhm.
and he put it onto the side. So that might still be in his hand. Or he stitched it. Or did Magnus trash it at any point?
Yeah, there's one in
Yeah,
archives
there's
right
one
there.
in archives, and it's going back now. So there's no Jackson on the table. And
But I'm guessing by now there's
he's
no agendas in
shuffled.
archives.
No, he's
either,
shuffled them back into the
for sure.
R&D for sure. So
Do you go for the Hail Mary here as Magnus? Just
you
go
mean
deep?
just ditch your cards on Kamainu?
Yeah.
Possibly.
He's got basically no money.
Yeah.
He's got 1 credit right now.
Hmm. Which is just enough to get through the hive.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know.
I just wish he would run HQ a bit. Just see what's up. Are there
Do you
any
think
agendas there?
is? I don't think so.
No, not at the moment.
If there is anything, it's a 2-pointer. He would not keep a 3-pointer in hand.
So that's a tech startup going down,
Mhm.
which means that by next turn, Asger will have Pavilion
Hmm.
online.
Yeah. And Magnus knows this. Magnus knows that his time is ticking here.
Yeah,
He cannot
That's
be
what
oblivious to that.
that's what I'm thinking. I
Mhm.
mean,
So the
Run or
Hail
die.
Mary isn't looking bad here.
run or die.
That's probably 2 Kaminers in a row, which is worthless.
Yeah.
If you're trying to.
One is good, the next one is going
No,
to
that's a
do
crick.
nothing. Interesting.
Huh.
Well, just break it,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you're going to lose your cards anyway.
Yeah. That is basically useless as well.
He's letting it
He's-
fire?
Why?
Why?
Why? That
Why would you
makes
do that?
no sense to me. Nothing.
Nothing at all.
5 cards deep, and he saw nothing.
Why didn't you break the crick? I don't know.
I don't understand that either. What was it he installed? Did we see?
No, I missed it.
Yeah, it was quick.
Might have been a tech startup.
Hmm.
I think it was.
Could definitely be. Which is fairly inconsequential.
Yeah. So are there any agendas?
So what do you do now, Magnus?
You go again.
Yeah, why
Like the
not?
chat is saying, go again.
Why not?
R&D.
Yeah.
Now it's checking HQ.
Uh-huh.
Last click has to be R&D, right?
It's got to be. He has not reshuffled it, but
Well,
he gets to see one more card.
Problem is now he can host something, but he can't score it.
No. No, he's dead.
So he has to win a side game for the win. So that's R&D. And he has to win a side game with 1 credit to win.
Yeah. No, that's it.
That's it. Very well played.
Well played. That was actually a really interesting and.
That was by far the tightest game we've seen against this IG deck that Asger has been running.
Yeah, props to Magnus because he gave Asger a run for his money here.
For sure.
And we will be seeing Magnus in the losers final here now in the bracket, playing against whoever.
One between Niklas and Rasmus.
Yeah. So we might see a rematch between Niklas or Magnus, or we will be seeing a match between Rasmus and Magnus.
Yep.
Deciding who will face Asger in the final. We will be back real soon. So till then.